If you're someone that picks up dinnerware and you like to resell it, I'm sure you've had the same experience as me where you pull out your phone and Google image search whatever item that you're looking at, whatever bowl, plate, mug, along those lines. And so I, of course, did that with these Dansk. They are the Dansk Concerto Blue bowls. And so whenever I look these up, often the price that you see reflected in the Google image search of what is being asked in the marketplace, it comes from replacements.com. 99% of the time, that price that you're seeing on replacements.com just seems sky high as compared to when you're searching on eBay for what these sell for, etc. And so it got me thinking, I wonder where replacements.com is getting their inventory, because most of the time it's vintage, or, it's something that you're trying to replace that is from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so where do they get their inventory? It comes from people like you and me. And so I wanted to share my experience in reselling to replacements.com, just to walk through that experience with you. And I'm not going to get near what they're asking on their website, of course, but I wanted to show you an example of reselling these Dansk Concerto Blue bowls to replacements.com, because they're actually going to pay me quite a bit for these bowls. Here's the thing. You have to pay for the shipping for your item to get to replacements.com. And so if you have many items that you're selling to them that you can put in one box, that's to your advantage. For today's example, I'm going to be kind of eating the shipping a little bit. I'm going to be just shipping these bowls because I just want the experience of reselling to replacements.com. I'm going to share my screen of how to get to replacements.com and how to sell to them where they send you an offer. You're first going to go to the internet and simply go to replacements.com. Hopefully you know the name of your pattern. Put that in the search bar, Dansk Concerto Allegro Blue. Hit search. The first one that pulls up actually is the pattern I'm looking for, but I don't see my bowl. You're going to hit that yellow button that says view more matches in this pattern. And now on this next page, you can scroll and look for the specific item that you have. And I think there's 6 pages of this particular Dansk pattern. And so I'm looking for the particular bowls that I have. The specific name of the bowl that I have is the Accent Fruit / Cereal Bowl, and looks like they made 4 patterns. I have 3 of them. I open the picture in the first one, and I scroll down, and it'll tell you the item ID number. I'm not sure if that's specific to replacements.com or if that's Dansk's item ID number, but anyway, it's right there, FRCEA. I think that one was 4. I keep scrolling looking for the others. You get the idea. Basically, you're trying to identify the item number of your specific piece that you're wanting to sell to replacements.com. This page right here is actually the 2 bowls that replacements.com wants to buy from me. If you're wanting to sell to the website, you first need to create a username, and then you're going to scroll to the left and hit services, sell to us, and that'll automatically fill in your info once you've made your account. Once that's settled, likely you're going to hit I know my pattern, because we know that we're working with the Dansk Allegro Blue. And so we'll type that in, hit search, it pulls up the pattern again, and you're going to hit select this pattern. Toward the bottom of the page, you got to click that box under licensing terms, and then hit submit request. Usually within a day or so, they'll send you this form, their offer to buy, and it is every item in that pattern, whether they're buying it or not, and how much they're paying per piece for mint condition. I find my cereal bowls right here. I double check the style number, the MPN. To my surprise, they're paying $22 a piece per bowl in mint condition of these tiny cereal bowls. So personally, I love this website. My ruler just fell. Anyway, so personally, I love this website because it gives you an idea of what people are buying in the market, what's in demand, what they don't want, because as you can see on that form that they send you, it tells you what they are not buying and what they are currently buying and how much they're willing to pay. So very interesting. To be honest, when I picked up these 3 bowls, I think I probably got them at Goodwill for like 50 cents a piece. In my mind, they were all the same because I just looked at them really quickly. But when I got them home and started looking on the replacements.com and just inspecting them a lot closer, as you can see, they are all different. And so replacements.com is not currently buying this bowl. They're not interested in it. They're not buying it. That was March 11th whenever I today is like March 28th or somewhere around there, 2025, and that was March 11th that I sent this in. I might resend it in to see if they're interested in this one, because it sounds like they only have one in stock, based on what their website says. But anyway, we're going to go with they don't want to buy this one, so I'll figure out what to do with this one on my own. These two, however, they want to pay $22 a piece for both of these 5-inch accent bowls. And so that sounds a pretty good deal to me. Now, they want these to be in mint condition for you to receive the $22. These, to me, look pretty good condition, but mint means, you know, something that it is brand new, no signs of use or wear. Look closely enough, you can find something that's not perfect about them. I will say it's strange to find bowls or plates that do not have any marks on the foot of the plate, which you can see that one is in really nice condition. And let's look at the next one. This is the other one that they want to buy. This one, there is a little bit more visual wear. So like I said, I'm doing this more for the experience, and if you were going to do this, you probably want to sell a lot of dishware all in one shipment. You can do it where that service, under that service tab, it says sell dust. You can do that over and over and over again for all different patterns, styles of dinnerware that you're picking up. This is my experience with reselling to replacements.com, and let you know how it goes. Okay, so I'm finally getting around to getting my Dansk Concerto bowls ready to send off to replacements.com to sell them, hopefully for $22 a piece. I have 2 of them. The other one I've already wrapped, but I wanted to go over the process of how you sell to replacements.com. First step is you want to clean your item. These were already really clean, so I didn't really require much. Second thing is you want to inspect it just to make sure there's no chips or cracks, because they're definitely not going to buy it from you if that's the case, so no point spending your money shipping the item there. And then third would be that you want to take photos just documenting the condition before you ship. Next thing, they asked specifically that you wrap them in bubble wrap. So I think this is like 10 sheets of bubble wrap, maybe even 12 for the small bowl. I've already done this one, and here's how it looks. The other one, pretty happy with that. I might, they definitely want you to add paper filler around the pack, around each bowl, 2 inches around padding around each item. Each item that you're sending in should be wrapped individually, just like you see here, and make sure when you're using the tape not to put it on the piece itself. That should be pretty obvious, but that's part of the directions. The next instruction is to place in a box where you have at least 2 inches of padding on all sides. So here's what that looks like stacked up. I'm guessing that a 12 by 12 by 12 box will give enough room to do 2 inches of padding on each side. Let's just give it a try. I've got my box made, and then the next thing that's really helpful, I get these really large rolls of craft paper from Granger for $33 out the door. That's much better than I was getting it for on eBay. So of course we're going to try to float the bowls inside the box, and so we'll use a ton of this paper above and below and all around. There's our bottom layer of paper, definitely 2 inches. I've put both the bowls in there, and keep in mind there's already a couple inches of padding from the bubble wrap on the side of the bowls, so anything more is just added extra. I kind of made paper columns, and as you can see, I put it on the 4 sides around the bowls where there's extra space. Now add a ton of cushioning on the top to make the box completely tight, no extra space. And there's a result of that. I used to be pretty intimidated by shipping breakable items, but I do it all the time now. It doesn't stress me out so much anymore. Got our box all taped up, as you can see, and it's coming in at a weight of 3.3 pounds, which would be, of course, 4 pounds if you're shipping it, at 12 by 12 bucks. They want you to give your shipment a shake to make sure there's no movement, which there's absolutely none. I just packed this super tight. And they request that you write fragile on the box. I don't normally do this for my fragile packages. I just pack it really, really well anyway, but they've requested that we do that, so we are. And then the next thing is that you're going to write your offer number so they can quickly identify your set that you're sending in. And so you'll put that on the outside of the box. I did, however, miss a step. You are supposed to include the form, the documentation of what you're sending in the box. So I'm probably going to open the bottom of the box and stick those papers in there. When you get your offer letter from replacements.com, this is what it looks like. I've got my personal contact information blurred out, of course. But so you have 30 days from the date of the offer. I got the offer on March 11th of 2025, and today is April 3rd. So we're within the 30-day time frame of selling our items. And there's a lot of really specific instructions in this these few pages here. And so you want to make sure to really read these over. I'm not sure. They want you to send this form in with your shipment. I don't know if you don't have a printer, if you need to go to the library, or if you can email it in. Fortunately, I have a printer, so that's what I'm doing. On the last page of what they send, they get really specific about shipping the items. And so we've written the word fragile, which is what they want. And then they also want us to write whether it is China, collectibles, or so on. And so we'll write what these are, China. And then they also want to, if you're going to send in multiple boxes, they want to know what shipment number it is. And so this is just going to be box 1 of 1. So I just literally wrote that right on top of the box. This is my very first time shipping to replacements.com, and I'm documenting it just because I think it's kind of an interesting experience and just maybe to help you learn how to do it. But there's like a kicker in this. They only pay full price for pieces in mint condition. Mint condition is really hard to come by. My pieces are maybe like a 9.5 out of 10, but I would not grade them as mint, like truly like new, just without the box or what have you. And so in this section right here that you have to fill out whether you're willing to accept half of the offer price, 3/4 of the offer price, or offer price only. And that's based solely on their discretion of how they grade the item. And so if you are only going to accept offered price only, then the section here is, do you want the item returned to you at your cost in shipping, or do you want your item disposed of? And so that kind of puts you in a bind because no one probably wants to pay for their item to be shipped back a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, maybe depending on how valuable the item is. But I'm going to go ahead and mark 3/4 of the offered price. I'm willing to accept that. So as you can see, I've marked that I'm willing to accept 3/4 of the offered price if not in mint condition, and any item that cannot be purchased because of condition, I just put disposed of, because the only reason why I would see that they wouldn't buy these bowls because they are in great condition is if they broke along the way. I'm not going to pay to have sent back a broken bowl. Next, this is like the inventory log. You're going to mark what item you're sending in and how many. So the 2 bowls that I am sending in are the accent fruit / cereal bowl, item number FRCEA1 and FRCEA2, and it gives the dimensions there, the height, and where it's made. They're paying $22 for full price, mint condition. You put on this side how many of each bowl you're sending, so just 1 of each, and then how much money you expect to get if they purchase at full price. And then on the back page, the end, you put the total number of pieces you're sending, which is 2, and the total amount due if all pieces sent are purchased at offer price, $44. This page right here, the last page, has a lot more details about just the law, fitness for sale, product valuation, shipping, damaged merchandise. You can read through that, but the most important thing I pulled out of here was the packing and the shipping, and then you want to know where to send your item. Replacements gives their address. It's really important to note that you can only ship your merchandise via FedEx or USPS, that UPS does not deliver to their company, and so you don't want to send by UPS. One of the things I really hate about shipping is when I miss something and I have to reopen a really nicely packed box, but had to do it to get those papers in there. So I just slid them in the edge there of the bottom of the box, and we'll tape it back up. When I'm not using eBay labels, because it's obviously not going to eBay, I like Pirate Ship. I don't know what you guys use, but I always get really pretty good deals on Pirate Ship, and so I use that website to print my label. So it's really too bad that UPS does not ship to replacements.com, because as you can see, it'd be $9.29 for this package for UPS, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go instead to USPS. It's going to be $3.39 more at $12.68. All right, so we ended up paying $12.68 for that USPS shipping label. Let's say we get the full price, the mint price, $44 for the 2 bowls. That would be, we're going to subtract the $12.68 for the shipping label, comes out to $31.32 that I'm making off these 2 bowls. Divided by 2, that's $15.66 per bowl. These bowls are in pretty nice condition. I wouldn't be surprised if I got the mint price, because I just don't know how strict they are. Like I said, this is my first time selling to replacements.com, but let's assume that I'm going to get 3/4 the value. That would be $33 for the 2 bowls minus the $12.68 shipping label. Comes out to $20.32 divided by the 2 bowls. That's $10.16 per bowl. That's really not bad. By the way, I meant to add, I think I had purchased these bowls at like 50 cents or $1 a piece, almost just like negligible, almost free. And so to me, to get $10 per bowl that I probably paid 50 cents for, that's a win in my book. It's worth noting that I actually had 3 of these accent cereal fruit bowls listed on eBay as a set of 3. This one, replacements.com doesn't want to buy. They're not buying it right now, which is kind of funny to me. But anyway, I had the 3 listed for $35 on eBay. Math is going to be kind of painful for me. I had the 3 bowls listed at $35. eBay takes like roughly 10 to 15% depending on the category, but just for a quick calculation, I usually use 13% that eBay claims for their fee for selling on their site. So that would be $4.55. I always promote my items at a very high rate because my strategy is to buy items so cheap that I can get away with promoting it about like the paying eBay total of 25 to 30% in selling fee when you add the seller fee plus the promotion fee. That's my strategy. It works for me sometimes and not other times. But anyway, when I had these listed, I had them listed at a 14% promotion fee, and I only had 2 views whenever I ended this listing. If they had sold, that would have been $4.90. And so when you subtract those 2 numbers, that would have come out to be $25.55 for the 3 bowls. Divided by 3 comes out to be $8.52 per bowl. So I'm really confident that my bowls are in nice enough condition that I'll at least get 3/4 the value. So we're still making better money than we would on eBay. And additionally, I just think it's really smart business move to not have all your items being sold in one location, because for whatever reason, if you lose that situation, it's just good to have backup options. And so this actually turned out to be a pretty good deal. Most of the offers, whenever I send in to replacements.com for them to send me an offer, they're not near this good. But this one I thought was kind of intriguing, and I just thought it'd be fun to go through the process of sending it in, making the video, and I'm gonna make a follow-up video letting you know how they valued my bowls, and if I got the full price for mint condition or if they valued them lower. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Early Bird Picker. As always, I'll see all y'all in the next video.